You good there, man? All
So,
right, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Believe in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
I'm your host Cody Van Seelum, and sorry if you heard me cough at the beginning. I think I just pulled a Penn State. Sorry.
Yeah, we got to talk about this. This has been all the talk on Twitter, Cody. We got to talk about this whole thing. Matt Campbell, the whole Matt Campbell coaching rumors. It's been the whole talk this afternoon. We've
Yep.
seen Iowa and K State burners talk about this all day long.
hmm
Um, I how much smoke do you really think that this truly has, man?
I I have not seen honestly. I haven't seen anything like official come out. This is like the typical like trolling that happens whenever like coaching hires open. Everybody likes to first person like to point out is Matt Campbell. You know how like a bunch of memes are made. This
Yeah,
feels
Kevin
like
Gastos
a
loves that.
yep. Yeah, I feel like maybe there's a little more smoke to it because I think Penn State is one of those jobs that maybe Matt Campbell would want to go to, and would make sense because I think Penn State would be like a job that he would actually like possibly go to if he wasn't one to like if he were to leave Iowa State. I think Penn State would be one of those jobs he could potentially go to. But I think if you understand the mind of Matt Campbell and what he wants to do, I don't think he would actually like to go to Penn State because you know the current mess they're in, right? With like they didn't even like they had the plan. Obviously, they fired James Franklin after losing 3 games in a row, losing to Northwestern, UCLA in that streak, and then they didn't even have like a proper backup, like an actual plan to hire the next guy. And it's just like the administration is like it's just a mess right now at Penn State, like football. It's just a mess. I mean, some fans for Penn State want to hire the interim coach Terry Smith. It's a possibility, but overall, this thing is a mess. And I mean, it's got like obviously Kansas State fans, Iowa fans, and even Penn State fans talking. Because I mean, I'm seeing this. So I'm looking at Penn State's Barstool account, and I saw a tweet that said, "Who will be the next head coach at Penn State? Wrong answers only." And I mean, even us Iowa State fans, we're doing a little bit of trolling too with this me because we're just saying Matt Campbell because we just like to troll like that, but something's ridiculous. I mean, I even hear some people talk about like, oh, if Penn State were to hire Matt Campbell, they're not gonna, instead of a whiteout, it's going to be a blackout. But I'm like, and it just goes back to Matt Campbell wearing black, which is such a weird thing. And yeah, it's so many. I'm seeing another meme. Like there are so many memes. Like it's just like Photoshop Matt Campbell in like Penn State gear. It is hilarious, and especially for the Iowa fans, like they're like for all the talk about like Matt Campbell's not a great coach and like he sucks and all that. They are talking a whole lot, which tells me more about how they feel about Matt Campbell than them just trying to troll and whatever.
Just
But
because they're
yep.
scared. That's why
I mean,
they're scared.
I mean, when you've lost 3 of the last 4 to him, yeah, I would be a little scared if you ask me. Yeah, and I've seen this Jacqueline tweet from Jacqueline Cordova, like who I know. Is Matthew Campbell can't go to Penn State. He wouldn't be able to wear black. He'd have to wear white with a sad face emoji, which I'm like, I mean, we already do it. We do a whiteout, but yeah, we also have black. But I don't know what Penn State. This is such a random thing. Would Penn State ever get black uniforms?
No, they're one of those. They're one of those traditional schools like Alabama and Notre Dame. That's probably never gonna go outside of their traditional colors. Like Notre Dame will be out there and do like a green jersey
Yeah.
because that green, Irish green. But like otherwise, they're not gonna go outside of their traditional blue and white. Like that's just that's storied college football right there. So they're not gonna be like one of these programs that goes and because they have tradition. So yeah, they're not gonna change up their if I change their like look. Also, if I could butt into this, you also got to look at like who Matt Campbell's inspirations are. Two of his biggest inspirations as coaches are Kirk Ferentz and Bill Snyder. And what do they both do? They built up big programs, and he stayed there for years. They stayed there for years and years and years and years. So I mean, we also got to think about that. I mean, obviously, like these jobs are going to come, but I feel like at some point we got to take him for what he said that he was going to do, because he's already been here for a decade, and this happens every single off season. Just like how everybody said, how everybody was convincing themselves that he was going to be the next coach of the Chicago Bears, and we all knew that that wasn't going to happen, because sometimes coaches just talk, or maybe GMs want to know what type of player that they're going to get if they draft an Iowa State player, or at least like, and it doesn't make sense either for him to leave, because he literally just signed the best class in Iowa State history, a top 50 class, which is the best in school history. So that also wouldn't make any sense for him to stockpile all this great talent in a top 50 class just for him to leave. It literally makes no sense, guys. We got to think now. Come on now.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing like even the Penn State fans. They some of them really want, like, they're putting like pictures of Matt Campbell out there, and I'm like, wait. I would think with how Penn State is, would they actually want to coach like Campbell, and would they actually like have patience with them? Because if they're willing to fire a coach who just got into the national semifinals a year ago for losing 3 games straight, then for Matt Campbell, does he even want to go to a program like that?
And that's exactly my rationale. That's exactly why I said what I just said. Like when you like, obviously, yes, like sometimes you do want, sometimes the grass is greener, but sometimes like you really got to think about it. He has full control over the football program. So even if we think that, let's say like we win 8-4, 8-4 still, and if we go 9-4, this will be probably our third best, one of our best seasons in school history.
Yeah,
And
we
obviously, as long as Matt Campbell feels that he can win here and win big here, he's going to stay. And
mhm.
he still feels like he can win here, and he's in a groove to now where for high school recruiting and in the portal, he knows what type of guys that he's looking for his teams to be successful. So he has that down to a T. He knows the guys, like whoever is on the scouting staff and on the other coaches that are good in recruiting. He knows the type of guys that he wants. So I mean, like going to a place that has higher expectations, and in the same fan base like Penn State, I just don't know that that would be a good fit.
Yeah,
Now, obviously, he's going to choose what he wants to do, but like do to his previous body of work, I'm just gonna say that he's gonna be our head coach in 2026.
yeah. And I mean, if he's like you mentioned, he like shot down like going to the Bears. I mean, other colleges have called for him, SEC schools, and then like I remember USC wanted to hire like Southern California wanted to hire him at one point, if I'm not mistaken, before they ended up with Lincoln Riley, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah. So until like we actually start seeing smoke out of like the official football team, whatever, like you know how like sometimes they'll have like a message about like a coach like that is planning to leave. I'm not gonna be convinced, and we've done this like carousel over and over again, which is kind of funny. So yeah, and you mentioned the whole like control thing. Yeah, you have them like, and you have not just like the fans like breathing down your neck. Administrators would be breathing down your neck, watching
right.
your every move. So I don't know if Gamble wants to do that while he has like full autonomy of what he wants to build the program of Iowa State as. So yeah, until like we actually see things that are like that are actually official and whatnot from like official like news, like our good friend Jake Bren at Psycho Fanatic, or we see stuff from Ben Hutchins, another guy that I know from the from the Quad City Times, or Alec Busty, for example, or just like actual journalists, or
Yeah.
yeah, and or like we see something out of the football program and out of the athletics program. I don't see him leaving, but this is like, I think I might have to have one time where it's like It's like I'm having a fun time with this. So I've got this drink here of a Revelton honey flavored whiskey, and I'm taking a sip for every tweet about Matt Campbell to Penn, like can link to Penn State and whatnot. So
What's that? What's that? What's he called?
honey flavored whiskey from Revelton Distilling. So
Not a
not
sponsor,
sponsor.
but possibly could be
Yeah, one
in
day
the future.
we'll see what happens. But yeah, local company out of Osceola, and their products have been pretty good. So yeah, but yeah, back to Matt Campbell. I'm not falling for the bait, but
I'm not falling for the bait, bro.
but I might do. I might do a little bit of trolling too. I might do a little bit of trolling about like who like Penn State should hire. I might tell them to hire. I might tell them to honestly. I think I know a great guy for the job at Penn State.
Tell me, show me.
Brian Ferentz.
Yes. Oh, I want that to happen so bad.
I mean, Brian Ferentz has beaten Penn State, so why not have him teach Penn State how to beat Iowa and whatnot?
Well, that'd be funny. All right, I think we've delved deep enough into this. We are now going to take a look into Purdue. Iowa State basketball has a huge matchup on Saturday as they go to Mackey Arena and go to West Lafayette, Indiana, as they face off against the Purdue Boilermakers. We did a little bit of a deep dive the previous show, or probably 2 shows ago now, and we talked about the matchup between Kaufman Wren and Oscar Clough and Blake Buchanan, which I think is going to be probably the best matchup of the game. And I think Iowa State is going to have something to prove. I think one of the things is they're going to have something to prove because they're going to want to show Oscar Clough that he's like, hey man, you should have came here. Mm-hmm. And Blake Buchanan is going to have a opportunity to show up and show out in this game. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I mean, looking at the KenPom numbers, Purdue is currently ranked as the number 1 offensive rating. They're the number 1 team in the country in that regard. And Iowa State, I mean, after their performance against Alcorn State, where they scored a school record 132 points and 22 threes in that game, they've been bumped up to the top 10. They're number 9 in the country with their offensive rating, but the defense is still holding strong in the top 10 at number 6. So realistically, looking for Iowa State, obviously they want to definitely put ball pressure on Braden Smith and limit his major impact. And Purdue, I think they want to really get it to Braden Smith, let him make plays. And I haven't been able to really watch too many Purdue games, but from what I saw with them against Alabama, they were really able to just attack and let Braden Smith just cook. You have Fletcher Loyer putting in numbers, and then Trey Kaufman Wren as well. So, I mean, yeah, the usual. But take a look at, I think their game against Rutgers actually. Trey Kaufman Wren was their leading scorer with 19 points. He gets it done often in the paint. He went 5 or 7 from the free throw line, but he also got 13 rebounds. So he's a guy that's going to fly in on the glass. You also have, Fletcher Loyer, who can shoot a couple threes, who's perfect from the free throw line. But Braden Smith, obviously the main guy, he went 50% from 3, making 4 threes in the game against Rutgers for 16 points. So their perimeter shooting has been solid. Like they've had a solid shooting from the perimeter, but I think a better test. You have to go back to the Alabama game to look deeper. Yeah, Braden Smith, he's going to be the guy that's going to be shooting a good amount of threes. So, and he's a guy that you want to make sure that you want to ball pressure him and him not be able to really get the ball out to somebody else, because that's going to be ideal. And I don't know if Iowa State will be able to replicate the shooting performance that they had against Alcorn State at Mackey. But if they can do some of it, like you saw with Jameer Bateman. Okay. Yeah, I guess well, I'm not sure what I was to say there, but with Jamarian Bateman, he had himself a breakout performance against Alcorn State. 26 points off the bench for him, and he was shooting like he went 7% uh, from three. So it's nice to see that he's got some confidence in his shot. I also saw Milan Momcilovic go almost perfect from three. He went 8 for 9, ultimately with 27 points. Then Joshua Jefferson, once again, showing that he's one of the best players in the country and possibly contender for the Player of the Year, the Big 12. 24 points off 10 of 13 shooting, and he was some quick offense. I mean, you go back to the game early on. Alcorn State got a 7-2 lead. TJ calls a timeout within the first 2 minutes, and Joshua Jefferson just takes that game over. He scored like 13 points in about 5 minutes. So his ability to take over games and able to get that offense going was really nice to see. And I think Iowa State will need some of that if they want to have a chance to win the game.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that they're doing this without Taman, I think it really tells you the level that these freshmen are playing with. At with especially with Killian Torrey, he's just been a revelation on the defensive and offensive side, being able to score in transition after getting steals and going and being exploding to the rim and dunking.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we're all like, it's expected that Killian Torrey gets a steal and gets a dunk. Like it's a patented play for him at this point. To it's like the equivalent of a pick six, where I mean, you deny the other team at least 2 points. It's like a 5 to 6 point swing for like when Killian Torrey has that. Like we've seen it, and I think in every game where he's gotten a steal followed by a dunk. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if. But I mean, he's going to be scouted much better. Like now that people have more film on Killian Torrey, they're going to have better scout, like a better assignment and a scouting report for Torrey and some of his tendencies. So I'm really curious to see how Killian Torrey is going to respond to really being scouted for the first time this season.
I think another guy that we need to look out for is Dominicus Plata. He had some good minutes yesterday. I think he's definitely going to be huge on the boards, especially with Blake Buchanan and Joshua Jefferson with the big guys in the front court with Clough and Kaufman Wren. So I look for him to be I think he's going to be an X factor in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we're going to go into Keys to Victory. Cody, what is it going to take for the Iowa State Cyclones to get a victory at Mackey Arena on Saturday?
I think the first thing Iowa State has to do is to really continue the ball, get the ball pressure, especially on Braden Smith. That's going to be the number one thing. Is you got to limit Braden Smith's impact on the game. You know he's going to get his fair share of impact, but you got to limit him. So I know that's like going one-on-one, and you match Braden Smith up with Killian Torrey, or if you do have a healthy enough Tamin Lipsey, that Tamin Lipsey will match up. So really, the impact of Braden Smith is the spark for Purdue's offense. So if you can limit his impact, then that gives you a better shot. Number two, I think you just got to have an ability to not give up second chance points. We've seen sometimes Iowa State not being able to get those defensive rebounds and giving up second chance points, which has cost Iowa State in the past. So if Iowa State can be strong on the boards and not give up second chance points, and maybe getting some of their second chance points of their own, that bodes well as well for Iowa State. And number three is really just composure, because you're got to be able to block out the noise, because this is going to be the first time that your freshmen have been tested in a really heated, a loud, hostile environment. Mackey Arena is one of the best environments in all of college basketball. So you got to see the composure out of your freshmen, see what they're made of. So if your freshmen can stay poised and really focus on their game and whatnot, that I think this bodes well for Iowa State. But yeah, what about you?
I say for me, keep poised, like you said. The young guys, I'm very, very excited to see how they come and compete because this game is going to be a game of runs, and I'm sure there's going to be a game where they go up by like 10 or 15. But can this team stay in and stay composed? Can they go on a run and counter that and keep this game close and not just have like a debilitating like stop run where or and one thing I do like about this offense is that you remember how last year and like and the year prior where they used to go on those like 3 or 4 minute shooting droughts.
Yeah.
I do like. I think this is a much more deeper team offensively, and like I said before in the previous pod, is saying that this offense has a higher floor than what they did the previous few years. But I think poise is going to be number one. Number two, getting on the boards and getting those rebounds, man. That's going to be crucial, especially with banging in there with Clough and Cop and Run. Like I think this is going to be a game where Blake Buchanan definitely has to be um, disciplined because this is a game where you don't want to have him out where he gets 2 quick fouls and then you're really going to be in trouble. Then you don't want to get him or Jefferson in foul trouble in the beginning of the game in the beginning of this game to a point to where you don't want to get blown out the gym in the first half where you have no way to come back. And then third for me, it's like you said, it's going to be the same thing. Second chance points. Being able to get on the boards. Blake Buchanan has been really, really good with that, and he's been a double guy. Um, and that's what Ash was saying to him. He said that he's going to be a double guy, and that's what we've been seeing during the tournament and basically for the entire season. So second chance points when you have chance to get the offensive rebound, get it. Being able to get or give it out to Milan or give it to Torrey or giving it to Joshua Jefferson. So banging on the boards, doing that, and I think making timely shots and at least obviously we're not going to shoot 22 of 30 from three, but be efficient from the 3 point line, make those shots, and I think that's how we can get a win at Mackey. But we are now going to do our predictions. Cody, what do you think on Saturday?
Yeah, I think with this being like the first big test for Iowa State, I think they like are gonna probably like they're gonna be pretty solid. Like I think the defensive pressure. I'm not sure how from like I think Purdue. I think they remember they played Houston last year, and Houston plays a very familiar style of basketball to Iowa State. So I think Purdue will have like that knowledge of like okay, Iowa State plays a very similar style of defense. This is what worked for us to break down their defense, and this is what didn't. So. And I think Matt Painter's he's a great coach. I mean, he's gotten Purdue to, he's been there at Purdue for 20 some years. He's gone consistently in the tournament. I mean, he's gone to the Final Four, I think, once or twice in his tenure, and even to the national championship game. So we know what Purdue is made of, and obviously they got playmakers all over the place. But in Iowa State, I mean, we've got those playmakers. Like I think we have a good amount of playmakers as well, but I think just with this being like a very difficult environment, not many teams can go into Mackey Arena and win. And I think Iowa State, they're going to keep it competitive, but I think Iowa State is going to take their first loss of the year. And I think the sentiment around a lot of Iowa State fans is they wouldn't mind if Iowa State lost this game as long as they keep it competitive because you're going up against the number one team in the country in their arena. So I think Purdue is probably going to, I don't have an exact score, but I think they're probably going to win this game by about, I'd say somewhere in the ballpark of 6 to 8 points. I think Iowa State and Purdue, they're gonna brawl throughout the whole game, and then Purdue's gonna have like a run like late that really like pushes them over the edge. They might make plays down the stretch, but this should be a competitive game and a really fun one. And I'm just hoping this doesn't turn into what happened to Texas Tech when Texas Tech got absolutely destroyed. But But I think on paper, Iowa State is probably a more complete team than Texas Tech is right now. So
I agree.
I see this being competitive, but Purdue is ultimately going to protect the home floor and win this game.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I think Purdue is going to go on a run to where we won't be able to recover. I have us losing this game at Mackey 75 to 67.
Yeah, I have it somewhere. I think it might be 82 to 76 in favor of Purdue.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think it'll just come down to some clutch plays from Braden Smith, Trey Kaufman-Renn, maybe even Oscar Clough makes it clutch play as well. I think it's just going to come down to who can make that one more play to put their team over the edge.
Definitely, for sure. All right, Cody, we're going to end the show out as we look at Conference Championship Saturday. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen, and here are all the matchups. Usually we have max and stuff, but now we are at the end of the season, so now we have 2 days of games. So we are going to start off with the Friday slate. We have they're basically all group of 6 games, so these are all going to be in great matchups. So we have the Troy Trojans going on the road to Harrisonburg, Virginia, to face off against James Madison. And some fun news: Bob Chesney, the former coach, I believe, took a job at UCLA. I just saw that the new coach of the James Madison Dukes is going to be Billy Napier.
Sun Belt Billy Napier is back, baby.
He's back in the Fun Belt. He's back. He's taking a list and taking names.
I'm seeing the amount of memes of the Sun Belt realizing that Billy Napier's return to the Sun Belt, and they're like, "Oh no, Sun Belt Billy is back." Oh boy, but this should be fun. I mean, the spread of this game is James Madison 23.5. So realistically, this is a win-in situation for James Madison. So
basically,
as much as I love Troy, as much as Troy is a solid team, I just don't like this game's like I love how these group of 6 schools, they decide to do their conference championships with the higher seed hosting it. That's pretty cool to me, and I just don't see what Troy could do to take down James Madison. James Madison is pretty much torched the majority of the Sun Belt, so I don't see any reason why they'll stop here.
Yeah. And then we have the Conference USA Conference Championship game on CBS Sports Network in Jacksonville, Alabama. We have Kennesaw State going on the road to Jacksonville State.
This is the year 2 in the FBS for Kennesaw State. This has been amazing. This has been an amazing year for them. I think they had a 6-6 record their first year in the FBS, or did they go worse? I don't recall.
I think they were worse, but yeah. Kennesaw State making it to the conference title in their second year.
Yeah, so I mean, Conference USA was going right down to the wire. I mean, you had Louisiana Tech, Western Kentucky. You had a few other teams really fighting for that spot in the Conference USA Championship. So, yeah, I mean, this one's going to be competitive. I mean, there's not really too much stakes in this one, but I think I may like Kennesaw State. I mean, just looking at their roster, I mean, looking at what they've done, I like them. Taking a look at Amari Odom, their quarterback, had a pretty solid year. 2,100 passing yards for 17 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. So solid year for the Kennesaw State quarterback. And Gabriel, you had Gabriel Bernard, the leading wide receiver, 877 receiving yards, and 9 touchdowns. So pretty solid. I mean, I'm honestly going to tune into this. This is going to be something I tune into.
Yeah, I'll be glued to all these games tomorrow.
Yep. Oh.
All right. And then we have probably the game of the night tomorrow. We have North Texas going on the road to Tulane.
This is the main of this is to quote the UFC's Bruce Buffer. This is the main event. This is the main event of the evening. The mean green of North Texas and the green wave of Tulane. I mean, these two are fighting to essentially be in the playoff as a G6 representative. So, I mean, whoever wins this game, they're likely going to the playoff as at least one of the G group of 6 teams. So I'm excited for this one. I'm very excited for this one. Seeing Drew Mestamaker take on Tulane Jake Retzloff, that's gonna be a fun quarterback matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun quarterback matchup. Both these coaches are leaving after the season.
Yeah. And
Uh,
I'm looking at the the total for this game is 66.5.
Good
So
Lord.
so
Points
Vegas
galore.
is expecting fireworks in this game, and I could see that honestly. I could see that.
Oh, yeah. Cody is definitely going to come down to the final snap. I can't wait to watch that one.
Nostalgia of like the old Big 12 where
Yeah,
defense
baby.
was optional.
Oh, yeah.
And
And
then on Fox, also at 7 o'clock, the UNLV Rebels, led by former Florida head coach Dan Mullen, take on Boise State, who got into this game due to tiebreakers because there was a four-way tie in the Mountain West due to San Diego State losing to New Mexico. And a lot of people have San Diego State as a shoe-in to go to the Mountain West Conference title game. But because of their loss in New Mexico, it caused a four-way tie at the top of the Mountain West. And through computers, they generated UNLV versus Boise State as the Mountain West Championship game.
this is a rematch of last year's game. But yeah, this is going to be a fun matchup. I'm taking UNLV to win the Mountain West.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how Boise is like hosting this game, even though UNLV is 10-2. But I digress.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
All right. And then we go to Saturday to where we have the Big 12 championship. And if you heard, this game is sold out. We're going to see blue on one side and red on the other side as BYU goes and faces Texas Tech in a rematch.
Yeah. You mentioned a rematch. Yeah, this is a rematch of the big college game day matchup that was back in Lubbock, where BYU just could not do anything offensively against that Texas Tech defense. And for this game, like for the purposes of this game, if I don't know if you're in the camp of you want BYU like to win this game, so the Big 12 gets two teams in the playoffs, or you want Texas Tech to have that first round bye. Where are you at in this camp? In the two camps?
I sort of want BYU to win because I want to have two teams in the playoff. It would be nice to have Texas Tech have a bye, but getting two teams in the playoff would be awesome.
Yeah, and I mean if that's the case, with BYU winning this game, I don't think Texas Tech drop far enough that they would have to go on the road to a playoff game, or would they still be a high enough seed to at least host a playoff game in Lubbock?
I think it honestly depends on what the margin of victory is. Because if it's like a close one and they lose 31-28, I really don't think that they're going to go that far. It's going to depend on what happens in Georgia, Alabama, and Indiana, Ohio State. Because if both those are like blowouts, then both of those teams could fall, and Texas Tech could probably stay at 4. But it really depends on how this game goes, honestly.
And I mean, the thought of Lubbock hosting a playoff game would be kind of intriguing.
I'd love to see that, man.
Yeah. But also at 11 a.m., you have Miami of Ohio taking on Western Michigan in the MAC championship game. I haven't been able to keep it too much, but Western Michigan is looking pretty promising. So, I mean, Western Michigan, I trust the Broncos of Western Michigan. So, yeah. But tune into this one around the same time, watch the Big 12 title game.
Well, and we gotta watch our basketball game too.
Oh, my TV screen is gonna be just filled with sports.
So if you have YouTube TV, make sure you have quad view.
Yeah,
and put it on the quad view.
Yeah. All right. So that is the noon slate. We get to the SEC championship game we alluded to a little bit. Georgia taking on Alabama. Now for this one, Alabama loses this game. They lose the SEC championship game. Does Alabama get dropped from the playoffs?
Yeah. I at 10-3, I don't think they stay in. I think they're out.
Okay. So yes, for Alabama, I would say this is kind of must-win territory. But I mean, Alabama, they did beat Georgia in the SEC championship in a SEC conference game earlier in the year, but that was in Athens. So I think things could bode well for Alabama. But I think this Georgia team, I think they could they're built a little bit better. I think they are a little bit better than years past where Alabama's run through them, and I think Georgia could find a way to beat Kalen DeBoer and company.
Also, I'd say Georgia's offense got better as the year went on. So I think Georgia will get their lick back in this one.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, wouldn't that be nice for Georgia fans to be able to say not only did we win the SEC title game, we kicked out the Crimson Tide out of the playoffs. The shit talkery that's going to happen if that happens, it's going to be crazy.
Oh, it's going to be insane. Now this one at 7:00, the 7:00 state is going to be interesting. We have number 1 versus number 2. I never thought I'd be saying this in my life, but we have number 2 Indiana. Yes, you guys, we're not talking about basketball. This is football. Number 2 Indiana playing number 1 Ohio State at Indianapolis. There is going to be a lot of crimson and cream at Lucas Oil.
Yeah, I'm just looking for. I mean, for this one, I feel like the bigger story is more for Indiana. I think there's a lot more to play for if you're Indiana, because obviously Indiana hasn't really been in this position for a long time.
Yeah.
Both teams are shooing for the playoffs, no doubt. But for Indiana, wouldn't it be great for them to, in 2 years with Cignetti, they've posted 2 double-digit win seasons and get a Big Ten title along with it while beating Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, the question for me in this game is like, what is Indiana going to scheme up on offense to move the ball in Ohio State? Because like we talked about on the reaction pod, about the rivalry week recap, man, nobody has really challenged this Ohio State team deep. So I look for Indiana to do that, but can they do it? We'll have to see Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's overall, and I mean, Julian Saint could definitely like cement like his Heisman case with the great performance in this game.
He could wrap it up in this game.
Mm-hmm. And then also at 7:00, this is where chaos could potentially happen. More chaos can happen. Unranked Duke is going to play. Is playing in the ACC championship game against number 17 Virginia, and this is the case. Go ahead.
Not to mention, Duke is 7-5.
I forgot about that. And how Duke even got into this game is because of tiebreakers. The chaos that happened in the ACC. You had Miami beat Pittsburgh, and then you had Cal beat SMU, where SMU was a winning in. And that opened the door for Duke to get in because of like crazy tiebreakers in the ACC. So just imagine the world that would happen in the ACC headquarters if Duke was to beat Virginia and win the ACC title.
An 8-5 Duke win the ACC would absolutely be unhinged.
That would likely kick the ACC out of the playoffs entirely and put James Madison, assuming they win their conference championship, and then whoever wins, and then probably like North Texas, if North Texas was to beat Tulane, or the winner of North Texas Tulane gets in.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very, very interesting development for all of these games. Make sure if you're going to watch all these games, make sure to to make your bets with our sponsor. Wow. FanDuel. Jeez, I was about to say my bookie, man. Jeez, Lord, bro. Yeah. But with FanDuel, I'm pretty sure they have a lot of college football tokens up and ready for conference title Saturday, and also for Thursday night football. We're gonna take a look at that and look at the sports book right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been actively on FanDuel. Unfortunately, I put a 4-leg parlay yesterday for some college basketball. I put a couple of legs on the ACC SEC challenge and also Indiana at Minnesota. So I had Indiana money line, Alabama money line, Arkansas money line, and Auburn money line. And you obviously know which one sold me out, right?
What?
Indiana losing to Minnesota.
Wow.
That one hurt. But I mean, I was correct to not bet against John Calipari because I mean Arkansas did pretty well. Like they had a really good game, and then Alabama was able to clutch out a win against Clemson, and then Auburn, man, they look like they haven't missed too much after the retirement of Bruce Pearl.
Nah, it's like they haven't missed a beat at all.
Yeah,
Look at one of the top teams in the nation once again.
Yeah. I mean, we got to take a look at Dallas at Detroit. Your Dallas Cowboys, take it away, man.
All right, here is the same game parlay tonight for Cowboys at Lions. You have, and this one is plus 618 at $10 wager wins $62. So you have Jahmyr Gibbs anytime touchdown score, CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown score, Dak Prescott plus 250, and then Jameson Williams plus 70 yards. There have already been 33,414 people that have placed this bet. You can be number 33,415. Here are also the promotions that we have right now. As always, bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets if you win. There's a $2 million touchdown jackpot. So where you use your token to place an inside TD wager on the game. If your player scores the first or last TD, you get a share of the $2 million in bonus bets. So try your luck with that. If you're in the hockey, there's a 25% profit boost. There is a 30% profit boost for tonight's game. Make sure you take advantage of all of these. Make sure you track your bets on Prime Video through the NBA. There is Bet Protect. So Bet Protect is if you place a pre-live player prop wager and your player exits the game in the first quarter and does not return, you will be refunded your stake. So have no worry. If your player gets hurt, you will get your money back. Also, Daily Play, $100,000 in bonus prizes and refer a friend for 100% profit boost. All right, and that is everything that is offered with FanDuel. If you know ball, go and make money. All right, guys, we are going to end tonight's show. Thank you guys, as always, for supporting the Believe in Iowa State podcast on FeedSpot. We are a top 15 sports podcast in the state of Iowa, and we are a top 40 most listened to podcast in the state of Iowa. So thank you, state of Iowa listeners. Thank you, everybody who supports us. We love you more than ever know. Find Cody on Twitter at FoMattCampbell. Find me on Twitter, Tyler, at SciTyGuy. And make sure to follow us on social media. On Twitch, we are at Believe in ISU 2025. Here's where else you can find us: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And that is tonight's show. So for Tyler Carter.
And for Cody Vanciolo.
This is the Believe in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
Go Cyclones.